What's up, everybody? My name is EmergencyTaco, and today we're going to be talking about art. That's right, art, but we're not going to be talking about good art, like Starry Night by Van Gogh or the Mona Lisa. We're going to be talking about shitty art. This particular piece of artwork that you're looking at right here is called Mesocosm. And what makes Mesocosm so interesting is that it is another piece of moving artwork, sort of like a film, like a movie you would go see at the movie theaters. The only difference between this and watching a movie at the movie theaters is that movies at the movie theaters aren't a large pile of camel dung thrown at a canvas. Now, even though that movies at the movie theaters are significantly better, these two films, quote-unquote films, are about the same length. That's right, this is 147 minutes of essentially the exact same thing. And what the exact same thing entails is fat guy sitting on stump, staring at field, and occasionally a crow will fly by or a rabbit will scamper past. But most of the time, you're just having a wonderful experience of staring at a fat guy's ass crack. Yeah, that's an ass crack. Right there, ass crack. Now you may be thinking to yourself, oh, if this picture moves, I see a lot of variety here. There's an owl swooping down and eating a rabbit, or a little sparrow pecking at his neck. No, that's not how this works. The guy stares at a field for about 20 minutes, and every 20 minutes or so a little crow walks in, or he gets up and stretches, so you have a wonderful view of this fat guy's wrinkled ass. And then, every now and then, the scene will change. But that wasn't the worst part of this field trip. The worst part was what we were forced to endure after the 40 minutes of this motion picture bullshit. And before we move on, I would like to point out that the curator of this museum actually said that she felt that this was a new type of movie making, and it should be presented at the Sundance Film Festival, and the guy should be given awards. And I said, no, it shouldn't. You want to know why? Because movies at the Sundance Film Festival usually have themes and storylines, and it's not just old fat Farmer John sitting on a stump and occasionally scratching his ass. And there is actually a frame in this picture where he scratches his ass. But that's not the type of art we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at artwork by artists such as this guy, Robert Motherwell. He's the author of profound pieces such as Untitled and Two Figures. Yeah, Two Figures. It was such shit that he couldn't even think of something that it looked like. He just had to say two figures. In other words, I spilt tar on my yellow canvas. But let's talk a little bit about the Sea at Biarritz. No, not the nice vacation spot, Sea at Biarritz. Robert Motherwell's rendition of the Sea at Biarritz. You see it? No? Me neither. Wanna know why? Because it's not there. If you can't immediately identify the subject of a work of art, if you can't actually see what the work of art is meant to portray, then it is a failed piece of art. It's not there. This is just a collection of black lines with a little bit of white and blue thrown in. A seascape has water, sand, maybe some buildings, beachfront houses, a lighthouse, rocks, maybe even a fucking whale jumping out in the ocean. But not black lines! But let's take a look at another piece of artwork. This particular one is called Landscape in the Colors of a Pear. First of all, this is not a landscape, and it's not using the colors of a pear. This looks more like a Rube Goldberg machine made using the colors of vomit. First of all, what the artist was trying to do here was capture Gloucester, Maine. First of all, I have been to Gloucester, Maine, and this doesn't look anything like Gloucester, Maine. It looks like a fish with a stick shoved up its ass trying to eat some crazy collection of lines. And second of all, this is not using the colors of a pear, because last time I checked, we don't have blue pears, we don't have purple pears, we don't have pink pears, and we don't have black pears. Maybe he does in his completely messed up world, but not in the world that he is currently trying to market his painting in. But let's move on to my favorite, or actually least favorite, piece of artwork of the day. I am, of course, talking about Homage to a Square. That's right, Homage to a Square. I'm sorry, but this is the biggest piece of bullshit artwork I have ever seen in my entire life. I was at the Montclair Art Museum, and this painting was on a 4-foot by 4-foot canvas occupying an 8-foot by 8-foot area of wall. That's 64 square feet of wall space. I could get behind Occupy Wall Street, but if this thing is leading Occupy Wall Space, sorry, but that's one movement I am not joining. And the worst part about this is it literally has nothing going for it at all. There is not a single underlying design that could give this piece depth. It is literally nothing but one square inside another square inside another square. All it is 3 slightly off-color squares. And I actually went up to the museum curator and asked her about it. And she said this. This is how the conversation went. Me, could you please explain this unique piece of artwork to me? And she said, this is a very, very brilliant piece of artwork. And I said, please explain because I don't get it. And she said, it's very brilliant because of this. Did you think of it? And I said, no, I didn't think of it because I operate on a cognitive level higher than that of a 3-year-old. And she said, that's exactly why it's brilliant, because normal people don't think about it. And I said, listen, with all due respect, if I were to walk into my art class and draw a circle within a circle within a circle, you want to know what would happen? I would fail. And to make matters worse, this guy liked his artwork so much that he made a ton of them. Literally hundreds of different homages to squares. That's right, he liked his square within a square within a square squareception idea so much that he made hundreds of them. The only time where homage to a square is even remotely acceptable is when you're Islamic and you're paying your respects to the Kaaba. It has come to a point where I have decided that every artist eventually reaches one certain spot in his career where they basically say, listen, I've had my run, I'm going to see how much I can get away with. And they create the most ridiculous piece of artwork that they can and see if they can get critical acclaim for it. Homage to a Square is a perfect example of this. I guarantee you that if I had created that piece of artwork without having created any other piece of artwork and I had put it out onto the market, people would have looked at it and said, this is ridiculously simplistic, you're an idiot, this is a failure. And nothing would have come of it. But considering it came from a well-known artist, it became famous. People will look into artwork of famous artists, and even if there is no inner meaning, they will find inner meaning. And I am going to use Kurt Cobain as an example here. Kurt Cobain has literally been quoted as saying, listen, all of my songs, most of the lyrics are really just fillers. I needed something to rhyme, so I threw them in there. And if you look up his songs online and you look up critical reception of his songs, people will write massive reviews on how this song deals with different situations in life. And those meanings that they find just aren't there. And I know they're not there because the artist admits they're not there. You look at somebody who spatters paint on a canvas. People may say, ooh, that deals with a certain aspect of life. And they'll also say, listen, if I spattered paint on a canvas, it wouldn't look that way. And I say, of course it wouldn't look that way, because you have absolutely no control over where the droplets are going when you spatter paint on a canvas. And that means you can't really have any inner meaning to the painting that you created. Sure, you can have a general idea of where stuff is going to go if you're going to spatter paint on a canvas, but in truth, droplets are going to invariably end up where you don't want them. And that means that if every stroke was meant to convey a message, you're not conveying a message because part of it was accidental. If you can finish the project and actually create a message for this project, fine. But that means you're matching a meaning to the project, not the project to a meaning. So, in reality, the artwork's a load of bullshit. Now, I understand I don't really know what I'm talking about. This is just my opinion, so I'm sorry if I offend any of you. But that's my little rant. If you enjoyed, please like the video. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment if you have any opinions of your own. Other than that, that's about it. I have been EmergencyTaco, and I am out.